How you doing today, guys? Let's get a look at this WE Knives 602B. Yep. Let's tackle this knife face first. Let's put our face right in that beehive and get all this information out of the way first. This is a $300, like $290 knife that is made in China. Not everything made in China is using slave labor, but I wanted to go ahead and just get that out of the way to start the review with. It's not even a review. I misspoke. This is an impressions. I have not carried and used this knife. So I want to get everything out first. There you go. For everybody who stayed. Thank you. Maybe you're interested in this knife. First shout out would go to 7 Red Eye Knife Reviews for sending me this knife all the way from Switzerland. Absolutely. I know, crazy. So go check him out on Instagram and on YouTube. I think he just broke 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Appreciate you sending this knife to me. And I said yes because I personally would never buy this knife. It doesn't make it a bad knife, it just makes it not my taste. But I think that there's a few things that they really nailed on this knife. First off, the machining is absolutely incredible. There's not many knives that are made in the US that could match the machining that is done on this knife. It's absolutely incredible. Now remember, some of the custom knife factory knives, their parts are machined in China, sent over to Russia to be assembled. So who knows what factory? Maybe that's information that is out there to the public to know. I personally do not know that. You know, I don't know if these are machined in the same factory or not. I have also heard that some of the Shirgorov knives, their parts are being machined in China and they're being assembled in Russia. It would make a lot of sense when you see how tight some of these machining patterns are here. When you see the quality of this knife, all the machining, all the backspacer design, check out this pocket clip. It is a one-piece pocket clip that has been milled out, a very high-end pocket clip. Still has flex, still works good. I did not carry the knife, but I did slide it in and out of my pocket a few times. It's a great pocket clip. It works. It does the job. It's a low rider, so only that much of the knife is sticking out. Right? And also no exposed hardware on it. How many knives have you seen do a clip like that? I haven't seen any. Doesn't mean there's not one. I just have never seen one. It's done in the pocket there. Now, anybody else who would want to carry this left-handed, you lefties are left out. Bada boom, I'll be here all day. Got some ink on my thumb. I hope it's not distracting you guys too much. I filled up my Lamy pen. I'm carrying it today. I know, very random. But some people wonder, hey, what's that on your thumb? A little bit of ink. Gotta love fountain pens. Cool knife. I'm personally not that into Tantos. They do offer this knife in a regular belly, like a drop point style knife with blade shape with the belly on it. I personally would go for that. I think as a design, it's gorgeous. The Tanto line is angular right here. It fits the angular section here and here. Everything, you know, just rolls together. The angular cutout here. I want to make another video on that eventually, kind of going over what I personally feel makes a knife look really pleasing to the eye. Because some knife designs you see that just look a little off. And by all means, I'm not an expert. I've been around a while, but when you start getting into things like design eye and stuff like that, it's very personal preference. So it would just be a video just chatting about me and my ideas. You know what I mean? But that's coming. But do you see what I'm talking about? See how you got your angular here? It's kind of matched here and here. It's kind of matched on this line here. It's kind of matched. This is not a straight up and down line. It's leaning in, like this is leaning in. This right here is leaning this way. The whole knife looks like a sports car. Do you know what I mean? How it's like sleek and everything. All the flow of this knife is pushing forward. It almost looks like a car, like a sports car that, you know how you look at like a Ferrari or a Lamborghini and they just look like they're going fast when they're standing still. It's kind of, you know, this design. More of a truck style sports car. I know that makes no sense. Some people get what I'm saying. Thick and very beefy built, but has very sleek and angular lines. You know, it's cool. I like it. I don't dig that jimping on the bottom. I understand that that's some people's thing. Jimping, jimping, jimping. You gotta have jimping. I personally don't. I'd rather see that smooth. It's incredibly well done. Look how they have machined down all of these sharp parts on the machine, on the jimping. They have also even beveled, if my camera would show it, each individual jimp eye, I don't know how you would say a single jimp, has a bevel on the corner. Can you see it? Beveled all the way around, chamfered all the way around every single square right there. Front, back, side to side. All the way around. Incredible. If I didn't say already, they milled out the pockets inside the knife to make it a lot lighter. This is an extremely lightweight knife for everything considered. I mean, it's a fairly large knife. Has a full titanium backspacer. Has a thick blade here. Not too thick. It looks like it'd still be a great cutter. Again, being an impressions video, I did not cut anything of this. It is somebody else's knife. You know what I mean? Looks flat ground all the way up to there. Look at the plunge. You can tell this is all CNC machine. I don't think much handwork went into this knife besides fitting the parts and everything. But I bet there's not that much work there when you actually think about how incredibly machined everything is. Look how tight the lock bar has been cut out. Looks like a wire EDM type of cutout. Also has been chamfered all the way around. The inside of the handle has been chamfered all the way around. See that bevel right there? Sometimes knives can get sharp when you run your thumb in there and you're using them. No problem here. Has a few little jimping spots on the top here. It's purposeful. It's not too sharp. I don't think it'd ever be a hot spot. For me personally, I feel like it's more for indexing the knife. If you had to hold this in the dark, you'd know exactly where you were on the handle just by touching that there. So anyways, what don't I like about this knife? Well, I like how everything was designed and put together. Me personally, I have one Tanto in my collection, and it's on a very, very tactical CQC7. I made that video where I said if I closed my eyes and thought of the ultimate tactical knife, for some reason, I don't know why, it would look a lot like the Emerson CQC7 in Tanto configuration. So that's the knife I have. It was a gift from a friend, and I really dig that knife. Not to say I don't dig this knife, I just personally wouldn't run out and buy one of these. If I did, I would buy the one with the drop point. Then maybe I'd be working on something. But it still has this jimping under here. So, I wouldn't carry this knife over another knife, even if it did have a belly here. That's fine. That's just me personally. I also do not understand this color configuration that they went with. That's all personal preference. It really is. But we've got this light green that's like olive style green here, anodized on titanium. It's beautiful. The anodizing has no splotching in it. It is all uniform color. The pieces all match the exact same tones, which is not that easy to do sometimes. I know it sounds silly, but unless everything was anodized in the same bath or the same day, at the same time, at the same temperature, sometimes anodizing can come out different. So I really appreciate that, where most people may not understand, to get all those to match up. Sometimes you could take one piece of titanium and another piece of titanium and have a backspacer, and then you blast them all at the same time, you etch them all at the same time, and anodize them all at the same time in the same bath. And because the backspacer was made out of a different batch of titanium than the two side slabs were, it can be a different color. You know, it can happen. I've seen it. So I appreciate it. They nailed everything there. Me personally, I don't understand the green with the blue on the satin, and then the purple hardware. To me, that's too much going on. Again, that's just me personally. I would think go blue hardware, or go green hardware, or something. Why purple? Purple come out of nowhere. Some people are going to like the purple. Say, you know, it gives it a pop of color. It's a different contrast from this and this. I would say it's too close to this and this. If you're going to do that, I don't know, go with, when you look at colors that go together, you're supposed to look at the color wheel. This is general information, and you can look across the color wheel, and usually those colors go very well together, if that makes sense. Not always. Sometimes colors like yellow and purple go beautiful together. Green and purple go great together. But I think when you put all three of them together, it doesn't make sense. In my brain wants to tell me that this hardware is blue like this, and it's not. It's purple. I personally don't understand this kind of key cut out on the side here. I don't know if it has a meaning or what, but I don't understand why. We have holes here in the fuller, and then we have holes with like lines here. I do appreciate that they carried this theme over to the pocket clip, you know. And I don't know if I'm just ignorant. Maybe this means something. Maybe that, you know, I don't know. To me, it's just too busy. They should have done without these holes, or they should have done without these holes and left this in there. Something. But that's just me. I appreciate the lines on the knife. Did we already go over that? How everything's angular. So if this is leaning forward, this line right here and right here is leaning forward. Leaning. Very angular. I think we already went over that. So we'll just leave it like that. That is the WE Knife 602B. It does come in the other configuration with a belly here. If you guys like it, I absolutely think that this knife is worth $300. It's actually probably worth more when you consider that what some of the Shiragorovs go for, when you consider what some of the custom knife factory knives go for. This knife is every bit as well made as a Shirogorov. I'm just going to go ahead and say that. From what I can see. Again, keep in mind, I have not carried and used this knife. Very smooth. Another thing that I would question, and this is me personally, like how well it's centered. I'm not questioning that. I would question the Tanto blade, the thick blade stock. Seems like it would be a hard use knife in that kind of concept. Titanium frame lock, thicker titanium on both sides. But ceramic bearings. And I know a lot of knives do this, so this is not a knock on this knife only. But I would be very hesitant to put much lateral pressure on this knife, any kind of prying. I'm not saying it couldn't handle it, but I'd be worried that I was going to shatter one of those ceramic ball bearings inside there. Some people say, well, you shouldn't be prying with your knife. I understand that stance to take on knives, and you're absolutely right. But me personally, I do use my hard-used knives sometimes like that. So why make a thicker blade if it has no light to medium prying capabilities? You know, and maybe it does. Maybe that's just me not having experience with this knife. I would just be personally worried about that. You know, good flipping action, beautiful, beautiful flipping action. But you're going to give up some of that hard use, air quote, hard use capabilities to put those ceramic bearings in there. But that's, you know, what seems that the market wants right now. bearing flippers, not only bearings anymore, ceramic bearings. For some reason, the more rows, the better. I don't quite understand that logic. That can be for another video. The more bearings you put in there, the more you have that could go wrong. And also, the more drag you put on the blade. Maybe it adds more support around the pivot, but I think for ultimate support, you'd want to go with a washer. You guys know how I feel about that, though. So, if you just wanted to use this knife to cut like it is made to be used, I think it would be a beautiful tool for you if you dig the Tanto, or maybe you get the other one. You know, maybe this design really, really does it for you. It's a nice design. I just personally wouldn't buy it. I already said it. Doesn't make it a bad knife, though. I believe it is worth every penny of $300. Produced in China and all. There's a lot going on in this knife. A lot of machining. If I didn't mention it, you do have a steel locks insert in there, and it does have a tab that runs up into the frame right there, so you can't overextend it. So there you go. One piece milled clip. That's a lowrider, no exposed hardware, and a beautiful lanyard treatment. Not the first time I've seen this style, but it's a pretty nice way to do things. Hides your lanyard really well. Not the lanyard, but it hides the, you know what I mean? Hides the little corners there when you put it in there too. And if you don't like lanyards, you don't have a hole going through your knife right here. There it is. That is the We Knife 602B. Gonna really sign out of here. Thank you so much. 7 Red Eye knife reviews. I'm going to link his stuff below if I didn't already say. As for the Instagram, and then also we'll put his YouTube channel up as well. And for anybody who is a naysayer, there you go. $290 for this knife. Knife Center is not paying me. I'm sure you can find this other places. Maybe you can find it a little cheaper. There it is though. Great knife. S35VN, if I did not say that. S35VN. Very, very reasonably weighted. It has a perfect balance. It like balances right on that choil right there. Really nice. Feels great in the hand. If I had any suggestions though, lose the purple hardware or something. Make it blue, make it dark blue, make it complement the knife. To me the purple just throws it all off, and to me this green and blue doesn't work. So I'd change the color scheme on it. And I could change the color scheme on it. Who knows? Who knows what the future holds. Alright. Thanks a lot, guys. It's really fun to be back. I appreciate you guys for hanging out. Especially if you're hanging out 20 minutes here. 18 minutes. Yeah. Long time. I appreciate it, guys. See ya.